OMG, welcome back to my channel. So excited that you are here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I appreciate you. It's Jody Dunn coming at you with another weekly video. In today's video, of course, I'm doing yard work. Per normal, I've been working on cleaning up my backyard all spring and all summer, and the work continues. You can see I have so much cleanup still left to do. We have done a ton, but there is lots left to do. I'm going to share an awesome recipe with you that I loved that I made for dinner one night. And I got to rescue some flowers. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. If you're new and you just found me, I am so happy that you are here. Would you please say hello to me and let me know that you are new right down in the comments? I would love to welcome you to the channel and say hello back to you. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for coming back to another video. I appreciate you. So I think it was last week's video that I kind of got further in the cleaning over in this area. And I said, I think this is a tree stump here, but I couldn't quite tell because it was so covered and I wasn't sure if it was just like hard dirt. Yeah, it's definitely a huge tree stump there. This ground kind of curves down back here, so it made a good spot for me to put my lawn bag on. So my goal for this week is to try to get as much of the leaves and vines and all of that stuff cleared up in this spot. And from when my hubs cut down, I don't even know. It's been 3 or 4 weeks now. Some of you have commented about having volunteer trees. I love that. I had a lot of volunteer trees that we've cut down. There's still a mess from those in this area that I haven't gotten to yet. So a lot of the stuff I'm picking up, and it's so hard to tell because this area is already such a mess. I can't tell what needs to be raked up and pulled up versus just what needs to be picked up from all the scraps of the hubs cutting down all the trees. And this area is not fun at all. Because he cut down so many trees in this area, there are so many little tree stumps. I kept on tripping over tree stumps, which is such a hazard, and we will eventually get them all removed. I did have a great suggestion. Somebody said, until you can remove the tree stumps, spray paint them so you can see them, and I love that idea. This right here, I'm guessing that I just found. Were you with me last year when I did the front yard makeover and the hubs pulled up a bush and said, where should I put this? In the woods? Because he called our backyard the woods. And I was like, no. Yeah, I think he threw it back here in the dang woods, which I'm trying to make our backyard. Anyways, I think it's a great idea to spray paint the tree stumps so that you can see them. Problem is I got so much cleanup to do. I don't even know where the tree stumps are because I got to get all these leaves up first. This week, I really struggled. I really struggled with getting out here to start the cleanup. It's Friday morning when I'm finally getting out here and starting my week's cleanup. Normally, I'm out here even like the week before, but at least on Monday, this has been a struggle week for me. Well, I'm plugging along and uncovered these, and I was like, oh no, is this Johnson grass? Is it growing over here now? No, these are more ditch lilies, you guys. I have so many in my yard that have been smothered. I scan them on my app. I use the app called Picture This Plant Identifier. Look at these. Ditch lily, ditch lily, ditch lily. Oh, my whole yard is probably filled with ditch lilies. I'm guessing maybe they grow good in the shade, but I don't know. I haven't looked yet. Oh my gosh. I was like, no, not Johnson grass. Nope, ditch lilies. All right, let's move on. I just absolutely didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to do it. This has been a very overwhelming cleanup that has taken me, like I said, all spring and all summer. Still not done. And this week, I just did not want to come out here and do more yard cleanup. I never have motivation to do it because motivation is just like non-existent. It's so fleeting. We get motivated to do anything for a second. And then when it becomes hard, which most things do, the motivation goes away. So I never rely on motivation. But usually I just rely on action. And I know if I get into action, that I'll keep moving. A body at rest stays at rest. A body in motion stays in motion. But this week, we did have rain a couple of days, which made it a little harder, but I just did not want to come out and do this. And I'll be honest with you, the only thing that finally made me do it on Friday was the accountability of posting a video. That is just the absolute truth. I said it a long time ago when I first started this channel, that I was filming videos to hold myself accountable to do things because I know I'm not going to be motivated to do most anything, especially when it's hard. So I finally got out here on Friday morning. Oh my gosh. So I do feel like I'm far behind. Clark sure does love it when we come out here because he gets to play, and he just has been having so much fun discovering all this new area that we are uncovering. And the last couple of weeks, I haven't been able to come out on Saturday morning, which, you know, that's been my plan because when the hubs is home, if I come out and do it, it kind of makes him feel like he has to come out and help. So I haven't had any help for the last 2 weeks of doing yard work. So I'm going to get out on Saturday for sure. And maybe he'll come out and help me. And then it helps things go a little bit faster, hopefully. I'd love to hear what you are working on this week. Definitely feel free to share it down in the comments with me if you would like to. I always love hearing what you guys have going on.
You ready to be done? I'm ready.
Well, I can't believe it, but I got 6 bags and it took me an hour and 3 minutes. I was like, oh, I went way over my time today because I don't set a timer. I just know how my body feels and about how many bags I can do. And so anyways, that was awesome. 6 bags when I didn't feel like doing it at all. All right, I'm gonna show you a quick dinner recipe that I'm making. I mean, you could do this for lunch too. This was inspired by, I just recently found Kristen, I think it's Step. I'll pop the picture of her channel up on the screen. This video, or this recipe was inspired by her. I did make it different than what she did. She made homemade taquitos, which Donna and I love taquitos. So she made it like buffalo chicken style. I went on Pinterest and found a different recipe that I wanted to try. So I'll link the recipe that I used down in the description box, but I just softened a block of cream cheese before I even read that you're only supposed to use 3 ounces of cream cheese. I think I ended up using like 5 or 6 ounces of the cream cheese though. A half of a cup of salsa, any salsa you want. And then these spices that I'm showing you, I'm doing a tablespoon of each. And I did already put in some chopped up and minced garlic. I think I chopped up 3 cloves. Is that what they're called, of garlic? Now, the recipe that I have linked down in the description box did call for lime juice, which I did not have any limes or any lime juice on hand, so I just skipped it altogether. And she did bake in the recipe. And I'm going to put mine in the air fryer. And then it was either parsley or cilantro. And I did not have cilantro, so I'm just using parsley in my recipe. And Kristen in her video, I did chop up a couple of green onions, I think 3 of them. Kristen in her video used Chick-fil-A ranch. My grocery store was all out of it. And store-bought ranch, I never find to be any good at all. So I dang homemade me some ranch as well. All right, to the taquitos, I'm adding 2 cups of chicken. I actually had 2 chicken breasts in the refrigerator that needed to be used up. You could use rotisserie chicken. The 2 chicken breasts gave me just under 2 cups, so I just went with it. And I just cooked them in my crock pot for like 4 hours, seasoned them, and then shredded them up. And now I'm shredding up a cup of pepper jack cheese. I love this cheese shredder. Oh my gosh, it works so good and it's so fast. I got it from Amazon. I'll link it down below. And I ended up shredding just over a cup, but that's okay. Here's the homemade ranch recipe I used. I can't even remember where I found it now. I used buttermilk, I think, and I halved the recipe because I wasn't sure. I've never made homemade ranch before, and I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but I ended up loving it. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, and then I'll put a screenshot up of this recipe as well, but again, I'll link it down in the description box because she did it just a little bit differently than I'm doing it, but I'm just mixing all of these ingredients together. And although it's been a really long time since I've bought taquitos from the grocery store, I'm trying to think of even the brand that I usually buy that Donna and I really like. They're beef, and I knew this was going to taste totally different, so I just wasn't sure if we were going to like it. I cannot believe how much we loved these. Even my hubs, he ate like till he was so full he couldn't stand it, which is never a good thing, but it was a very nice compliment. I'm so glad he loved them as much as he did. And Donna has asked if I would please make them again. Viv was actually at practice this night, which is why I decided to make them on this night, because she's not a cheese fan at all. So I knew she probably wouldn't like these, but the 3 of us loved them. So I'm just going to turn on my air fryer, and I was just kind of guessing here. I did them 4 minutes at 400 degrees, and you can use corn tortillas or flour tortillas. I just had flour tortillas on hand. I'm just going to pop them in the microwave just to soften them and make them easy to roll. And if you don't have an air fryer, the link of the recipe that I put in the description box does have the instructions for baking them in the oven. I just knew it would be quicker if I did it in the air fryer, and I love my air fryer, and probably even a little crispier in the air fryer. So now I'm just filling the, what are they called? OMG. The tortillas. Oh my gosh. With the taquito mix and rolling them up. And I was actually, I think I was able to fit, I don't remember how many I was able to fit inside the air fryer, but I did have to cook 2 separate, I think it maybe fit 8 or 7. And then I had to cook 2 of them separately because I had the mix left and I wanted to use it up. And we did end up having 2 left. And I did have 1 the next day for lunch, and it warmed up. I put it in the air fryer again to warm it up, and it warmed up really nice, and it was good the next day as well. So 400 degrees at 4 minutes in the air fryer. They came out nice and crispy and hot. I think this was absolutely perfect timing for what to put them in for, and you can see how many I could fit in there. This is what they look like inside. I got out the homemade ranch. I wasn't sure if we were going to like it, so I got out sour cream just in case. There's Clarky. You could also, I actually ended up using salsa with them too. You could serve this with a salad or rice or whatever, but they were delicious. Highly recommend giving them a try. All right, I told you I had to rescue some flowers. I've got some humongous dahlias that are really drooping. So I just ran to my local hardware store to get some wood stakes, and I thought instead of digging in the ground, I wonder if I can just hammer these in because they have a pointed edge on them. So I went and grabbed my hammer, and that worked perfectly. I gotta give these babies some support, and I'm doing it far enough away that I hope I am not disturbing the dahlia tubers that I will be pulling up in the fall at some point so that I can preserve them and replant them next year. I meant to do this way earlier, but it just got away from me, so I'm doing it now. Look at this poor guy. Oh my gosh. He just opened a couple of days ago and he already broke. I'm going to take it inside and enjoy it for however long it will live, but hopefully these supports will help. Let me get another one up here for this side. And I had no string, so I'm just using ribbon, like present ribbon, to help tie the stalks up to give them support. So hopefully that works out just fine. Now that my first year of planting dahlias is under my belt and I know that I can actually grow them, I'll have a better plan for next year when I plant some dahlias. And I was so late in planting them this year that I wasn't sure if they were going to grow. I planted 12, and I don't think all of them are going to have time to flower this year. I have another one over here that has not opened yet, but I think it might be the same one as the one I just put some support up. This one's getting pretty tall, so I'm going to go ahead and support this one as well. And I don't know if you saw that one that's right by my foot right now. It's just funny how they're all so different. That one has a flower as big as these flowers, but the actual plant itself is very short. This one is really not drooping, but it's drooping a little. And it's getting 2 new flowers on here, which I know are going to make it heavier. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some support on this one as well to hopefully avoid it drooping too far and breaking. All right, this one was okay. It was drooping just a little, but it's getting 2 new flowers. That one's getting ready to open. And then it's got another bud there, so I'm worried that it will get too heavy. So I just gave that one a little support too. It looks like it's getting a bud right there. Yeah, right there too. Oh, I saw another one. Oh, look at this little baby one. This little baby one's getting a bud. OMG, I have 12 dahlias. And 5 of them are in bloom or have flowers. And now I have 1 more that has a bud. I don't think no more have buds yet. But okay, let's look at the yellow ones. All right, that's so much better. Hopefully, no more of them will break. I might have to get, well, no, I won't have, I'll just have to tie, if this stalk gets a bud, I'll have to tie some string around the wood, but it's getting, oh, there is a bud in there. Oh my gosh. It's getting a lot of flowers. On this side, can you see with the sun? I'm going to have 1, 2, 3. This side, the poor one broke already. But this one's going to open. So anyways, that will be a lot better for them. Hopefully that will keep them sturdy enough that the flowers won't break the stems. This little girl here, she's just gorgeous. My goodness. And she's not tall enough that she doesn't need any support. This one, I think I told you in the last video, I think is going to be the same as this one. So I just gave it supports as well. And that was the one that half of it had broke. So that's why it only has 1 big stalk. But anyways, I think that will just be a whole lot better. I kind of like the look of these better than the tomato cages anyways. There you go. That was my quick fix. I know I used string. I know. Or not string. I used ribbon. That was all I had. But hopefully saved the flower. Now we're going to take this beautiful bloom inside. All right. I'm just going to put this beauty here. Let's see. Is that even going to work? Maybe. No, probably not. It's gonna I just washed it off because it had a couple ants on it, so I want to make sure all the ants were off of it. I might have to figure out something. I don't have like any short vases. I'm propagating. OMG, I'm propagating. And I think it's working. and I'm so darn excited. These are from a hibiscus. My mom's neighbor has a hibiscus. And I asked if I could have a stem. So they gave me a stem, which was so kind of them. And I cut it into two and I'm trying to propagate. It has grown new leaves on both. And I think I'm starting to see some rooting down here. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Okay, that little cup wasn't working. My flowers that my husband got me, most of them are still beautiful and alive. So I put that beauty right in there. So hopefully she'll last for a little while. She is gorgeous. Nice big flower you can see compared to the rest of the flowers. So bummed that it broke off, but hopefully I avoided that from happening. Oh, now I see an ant on it. I gotta get it off. But there you go. All right, back to the yard work on a Saturday morning when I know the Hubs is home. So hopefully if he sees me out here working, he will come out and help. We shall see. But I'm back in this area to do more cleanup of the leaves and all of the debris that's still over here because I haven't got it all yet, and pull up some of the vines that I don't want on the ground anymore, the ground cover that was here. And I'm trying to avoid the area that's just left of me because there are so many stumps over there that I kept tripping on because I can't see them over all of the leaves. And I tripped so many times the day before this that I was like, I'm not going over there today. I only have an hour this morning, which is usually what I do anyways, because I'm taking Viv shopping for homecoming dresses, and Clark got the zoomies and was making some pretty funny noises with his ball. I thought I'd let you listen.
What are you doing? What are you doing? You did your ball?
I love it when he starts growling at his toys. It's so funny. And then he was finished with that and came over to me, wanting me to give him a stick, which I did have plenty, but I wasn't going to give him any of the ones that I found.
Sparky, you can't have these sticks, okay? These are big. These are very big. What? You think I'm gonna throw you a stick? This is too big. It's too big. No. Oh, Lord. They're too big for you, Clarky.
Look at him. He's like sniffing the sticks and everything. I was just busy picking up. I didn't even notice he really wanted one of these. Poor Clarky. Well, it only took about 20 minutes today. Usually it's almost an hour that I'm working before I see the Hub stroll out. And here he is to help. And at first, I was so happy. I'm just going to share some real life emotions that I had. It was a struggle week for me, which we all have them. He pulled out the root slayer, and I was like, oh, thank heavens. He's going to start digging up some of these stumps because they are just an absolute pain in the butt, which he did for a very short period of time. But I've told you so many times that him and I just work so completely different. And he wants to focus on the things that he can see that are going to make the biggest visual impact at first, which I totally get that. where I more focus on, let me just do the space I'm working on. I want to get the space I'm working on cleaned up, cleared out. I'm not going to be going to do something that makes a big visual impact and then creating a whole nother mess that has to be cleaned up later. That is so completely overwhelming to me. For me, it would be like, okay, let me declutter my kitchen cupboards, and I pull everything out and I put back only the things that we're going to use. And the cupboards themselves look so fantastic, but I have all of this stuff sitting on my kitchen counters that I just didn't take care of. That's what it's like to me, if you can envision that. So this is why I always tell you, like, I do things in chunks of time. I just don't, I'll get overwhelmed way too fast. So when I saw him starting to dig up some of the stumps, I was like, oh gosh, this is so helpful. And I told you already that I was really struggling the day before to get motivated. And then he picks up the loppers and he starts going at we still have a bunch of little volunteer trees that need to come down. And he starts pulling those down. Meanwhile, I'm over here still, weeks later, trying to clean up the mess from the trees that were already pulled down, that this mess hasn't been cleaned up yet. And I'm not going to lie. I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry because I know he'll work for an hour and a half to 2 hours or 2.5 hours, and he'll pull down a bunch of stuff, and then he's going to be too tired and too sore to clean it up. And then the cleanup is going to be left to me. And so I'm just in my mind thinking, I already have this big mess still over here that hasn't been cleaned up. Plus, I got to clean up the leaves that we haven't picked up for years upon years. And now there's going to be more areas. Oh my gosh. It has to be done regardless. But I just like to take things in sections where I get everything done all at once. If there's a mess that needs to be cleaned up and then you add more mess on top of that, that's when I get overwhelmed. I'm grateful for his help, and I think it was just a struggle week for me, and that just kind of tipped me over the edge. So again, just sharing some real life emotions that I had this week. All right, a lot of bags were collected this week. I got 18 bags here to go out for pickup day. I bagged up 12 of them. So the hub's got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I count that right? 7. He did 4 over there. Those 4 he did, and 2 here. 4, 5, so that's 6. He bagged up 6, I bagged up 12. That maths. There we go. It's a rainy day now when I'm filming this part, but you can see all the mess that's still over there on top of the already mess. That's what I was talking about. Again, it's a new day, so I feel better. I wish I could get out here today, but it's just too yucky out right now and muddy. So I'm going to see if it stops raining later. But he basically cleared out the big ash tree that was here, which is awesome. You can see all the brush over there. He just went through kind of the back line of the property. And he did say he thinks there's another yellow jacket nest over there, which that also made me want to cry. And I still got all the way over on the other side. I still got a bunch of debris from the last pickup. But anyways, I was feeling, just again, sharing real life emotions with you. I was feeling a little defeated and extremely overwhelmed. So I had to go back and look at the video that I took before I even started this project, because I needed that lift to show me how much progress we have made. So I'm going to share some before and afters with you. We're not done, obviously. We still have weeks of work left, but we've come a long way. I appreciate you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you enjoyed me sharing that recipe. It was just so delicious. I was like, I got to share this with everybody if you want to try it. And I hope it inspired you to get something done in your house. And just, hopefully let you know if you're working on something that's overwhelming. We all go through those times. We all go through those emotions. And tomorrow will be a better day. So let's take a look at some before and afters. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And I'm going to see you again next week. I hadn't planned on sharing the before and afters until I was completed, but I needed the lift, and I thought, well, you've been watching me for weeks. If you've been showing up every week, maybe you'd like to see the progress that has been made. So this was the before with the completely overgrown backyard that my husband so lovingly called the woods, because it really did look like the woods. And when I watched this video, I was like, oh my gosh, look at the dirty fence. I just could not believe this really was the lift I needed to see how far that we have come, because sometimes it's easy to look at how far you still have to go and forget how much progress you have actually made. Basically, beyond my grass area, you couldn't see anything in my backyard. And now, oh my gosh, just this area right here, I can't believe how different it looks. I mean, all of the areas, really. Like, it just opened up the whole yard. It doesn't look like the woods anymore. It looks like a tree-filled backyard, but so incredibly happy with the progress. And again, I appreciate you so much for spending some time with me today. And I'm going to see you again next week, surely with some more yard cleanup, because like I said, we still have weeks of work to finish this. But I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'm going to see you next week. Bye!